I'd like to ask Board President Jackie Rodarte and Chancellor Cheryl Marshall back to the podium to present the medallion and charge to President Schilling.
I'm pleased that all of you could join us for this historic occasion. Dr. Schilling, please join us again at the podium as we read the official charge of the President. The values of Cypress College have been upheld by each of our 11 former presidents, from Dan Walker to Robert Simpson. Each of them became leaders in Orange County and pace setters in community college education, putting a unique stamp on this institution and transforming us in the process.
Dr. Schilling, the Board of Trustees has selected you as the 12th President of Cypress College. It is a privilege to have you as our leader. You have the opportunity to build upon the great traditions that exist here, as well as take this great institution to another level. It is our hope that you will rise to the responsibility, and we pledge that we will help you to the full extent of our abilities. Dr. Schilling, we now, with the authority of the Board of Trustees, place over your head the Great Seal of Cypress College, the symbol of the high office which you now hold.
I'm asking Brian for instructions here. I think it's my turn.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored. So thank you again to Dr. Marshall, Trustee Rodarte, to our Board of Trustees, Brian. Couldn't have picked a better MC. Thank you so much for doing this. And to all of my Cypress and NOCCD colleagues, you truly do make my job a joy. Thank you, Manuel, Julio, Sue. I'm not quite sure who you were talking about up there, but I really appreciate it. And you know, Julio, I'm so proud of you. You know, Julio is a great example of what we always hope that our students will become, and I've really seen this young man grow from never a totally confused student. He always had a lot of poise and understanding, but I've stayed in his life, and I appreciate that you've allowed me to stay in your life and watched him grow through finishing his bachelor's degree and then on to a master's, and now as a counselor and taking his place serving other students. It's just really, really an honor to see your progress. And Manuel really was my mentor. He helped me stay out of trouble in those early years. He was quite kind. Actually, I think that the faculty chose me because they just had to choose somebody, and so he really helped me kind of navigate my way and learn. And so your direction has been immeasurable to me, Manuel. And Sue has been a fabulous colleague throughout, both at first as a faculty member, and I'm really just following her vision. So thank you, Sue. And I want to thank all of my colleagues from NOCE. You have done a fabulous job. All of the things that happen behind the stage, which you don't get to see, are the things that so many people have been working on today, and not just today. Valentina Pertel, Julie Shep, Dennis Davino made all of the special touches, both upstairs and downstairs. And of course, my executive assistant, Ty Volsey. I cannot count the hours that she's put into putting this together. So thank you, Ty. I can't thank you enough. I would also like to acknowledge my fellow CEO colleagues and friends who are here. I don't see you, but I think John Hernandez is here from Santiago Canyon. John, are you here? Great, up there. Thank you so much for being here. It's really an honor to have you here. And also Jose Fierro, CEO and Superintendent at Cerritos. Jose, are you here? Okay, and of course our partners in education, Robin Patterson, our Pacifica High School principal, Jaron Freed from Anaheim Union Assistant Superintendent. Do I see you guys out there? And also Alicia Bailey from Oxford Academy principal. I think you're here as well. And of course, I can't let the day go by without thanking our foundation board members who are here. They're the ones who work tirelessly to provide support for our students, and we can't thank you enough. So Mary Ellen Yark, I know you were mentioned before in another capacity, but also our foundation board member, Phil Wendell, Terry and Sandy McCarthy, thank you for being here, Michael Cooper, Ken Veccarelli, and Delight Sitman. I think you're out there, Delight. We thank you for your generosity and support of the college. I also want to extend my thanks to all of our elected officials here today. I have been so grateful to work in Get to Know You and your support of our communities and cities and of the college. We can't do it without you. And last but certainly not least, I need to acknowledge my best friend, my partner, who also happens to be my husband, Steve Schilling. Love you, babe. He makes sure that my lunch is packed every day. And often I have surprises, little notes and things, and they aren't always love notes. Sometimes they're reminders to do things, but I appreciate it most of the time. He reminds me that it's really not the end of the world when the Dodgers lose, even though it sort of feels like it. Sorry, Angel fans. And most of all, he makes me laugh every single day. And sometimes it's at you, but mostly it's with you. Life is always an adventure. So Steve and I recently traveled to the Middle East, and it was really a fabulous trip on many levels, but mostly it was an affirmation that the world is a big place filled with many people and many cultures, and what we want and need aren't really all that different. We share a desire to live in peace, to make a better life for our families and our children, and to live in love and safety. We spent some time in southern Jordan, and we stayed overnight in a Bedouin camp in the desert. The local village that was sort of our jumping off place to go out into the desert was poor by most standards. But the hospitality we experienced there was really inspiring. Everywhere we went, people invited us into their home for tea. And the tea was really amazing and so strong that you would stay up for hours. And the children all attended school. We watched the kids go to school, and it was just the boys, and we asked, do the girls go to school too? And they said yes, they don't go to the same school, but the girls are going to school as well. And there was a sign posted on the school, and it said in English and Arabic, thank goodness it was in English because I wouldn't have gotten it if it had only been in Arabic, but it said, education is the movement from darkness to light. It was so simple but so profound, and education opens our eyes to all the possibilities, not the limitations. And although it's easy to take our own educational system for granted in a country as rich as ours, it is important to remember it wasn't always so. I am proud to work at a community college. There is no other institution like it in the entire world. Community colleges are uniquely American, and we stand for the ideals that America was founded on, which is that our doors are open to all. We are a beacon of hope for all who come here, where everyone has a chance to go further than his or her birth dictated. There's no more egalitarian or open access education system in the entire world. In 1947, the Truman Commission on Higher Education, recognizing that our democracy depends on an educated citizenry, called for a system of community colleges to be established to support and sustain our democracy, and to be an economic engine for what would end up fueling one of the most prosperous times in American history. when the pinnacles of prosperity were available to all citizens. Although community colleges existed prior to 1947, this was the beginning of the great expansion of colleges in California and beyond. More than 60% of the California community colleges were built after 1950, including Cypress College. Truman's Commission recognized that the role that community colleges would play in educating our communities, and that the United States could not be a leader in the world without ensuring that all of our citizens had a path to a better life. I am proud that our college is a true community college, that we live among you, and that it is our honor to serve the communities of Cypress, Buena Park, Anaheim, Stanton, La Palma, Los Alamitos, Seal Beach, and beyond. That our doors are open to everyone, young and old, rich and poor, and that we elevate not just the students who enter our doors, but their families and their children through the power of education. I am a second-generation college student, and that's important because my parents were the first and still only ones in their families to go to college. This was possible only because teachers and mentors believed in them and because they both received scholarships to attend college. But because they went to college, my life's path has been entirely different. My siblings and I have benefited every day of our lives because our parents went to college, and we benefited by our parents' expectations of us for the opportunities we had to experience art and travel by living in a home filled with books and debate and a rich environment for learning. So when we talk about who is successful in our country and who is not, it is so important that we remember that some of us had opportunities that others could not imagine. And I am here today because someone believed in my parents, who in turn believed in me. It is incumbent upon us and those of us who have so much to ensure that these opportunities are available to all. I am honored to be the 12th president of Cypress College, to carry on the tradition begun over 50 years ago, and to take on the responsibility handed to me by the 3 wonderful presidents who are on the podium today. Our 9th Cypress president, Margie Lewis, 10th college president, Mike Chancellor, and 11th president, Bob Simpson. It is an honor to walk in your shoes and carry on the legacy that you carried so well and now have passed on to me. Thank you to the faculty and staff here today who have welcomed me so warmly in the past 6 months. I learn from you each and every day, and I'm so proud to serve with you. I am proud to serve this institution of higher education, and I promise I will work each and every day to ensure that our students have the opportunities that I have been so fortunate to experience in my life. In closing, I'd like to read a short passage that I believe sums up the importance of what we do. I usually go with Calvin and Hobbes at times like this, but this time, a writer named Roger Rosenblatt won out. This is from an essay he wrote recently in the New York Review of Books about the transforming power of education, and I'd like to share a brief passage with you. We cannot see much of what rules our lives: magnetic fields, electric currents, the force of gravity. All these exist as silent forces, and they work upon the world, whether acknowledged or not. They wield their power unseen, as do our thoughts, our passions, our tastes, our beliefs. The same is true for education. The impact of a great book, a piece of music that touches the soul, the surprising reveal of a scientific truth. These unseen forces lead to the triumph of pushing oneself further than you imagined you could go, or to the moment one recognizes for the first time that something is new and real and true. These revelations work invisibly, but occasionally comes that lovely moment when a student will say, "That book changed my life." Educators often don't know when that moment occurs. It is largely in secret, but it makes its impact. And whether acknowledged or not, these are the moments that change one's life. So I say to you, my fellow educators, we can only hope that what we do is generally true and fair, and that those who enter our classrooms will embrace our efforts to be part of their stories. Educators will forever ride upon that invisible tablet in which another human being will take and share and write their own truths upon. I take this responsibility as your president with joy and seriousness, and promise to be a good steward of all that this great institution represents to the students who need us and to the communities who so generously support us in the work that we do. May Cypress College long be a shining light to the students and communities we serve. Thank you.